It started without warning and without sound that humans could understand. Space agencies around Earth first noticed strange movements far beyond Mars, near the dark edge of the solar system, where no normal satellite should behave oddly. At first, they thought it was a glitch, then a comet, then maybe a secret human probe that had gone off course. But the object was too controlled, too precise. It moved like something intelligent was guiding it. Within weeks, telescopes confirmed the truth. It was not one object, but several. Large metallic shapes drifting in formation, silent and slow, like they were searching. Earth tried to send signals, radio waves, light pulses, coded messages. Nothing came back. Then, one night, everything changed. A fleet of alien ships entered Earth orbit without breaking atmosphere, without heat, without warning. They simply appeared, like they had always been there, but were now visible. Cities went dark for minutes as power grids reacted to unknown fields in the sky. People panicked, governments tried to respond, but there was no attack, no destruction, only silence. After 3 days, the aliens finally spoke, but not in a way humans expected. Every screen on Earth, every device connected to any network showed the same symbol, a rotating shape like a cage made of light. Then a voice came, not through sound, but directly into human minds, translated perfectly in every language. It said they were not invaders, they were collectors. Humans were not enemies, humans were cargo. At first, people did not understand. Cargo meant objects, not life. But the aliens explained further. Long ago, they had discovered life forms across galaxies that were too chaotic to study in their natural environments. So they created a system to gather species at their peak development, preserve them, and transport them to a central archive world. Earth, they said, had reached the stage of selection. Before humans could react, strange beams of light descended from the ships. They were not harmful at first. They simply touched groups of people in different parts of the world. Those people vanished instantly, without pain, without sound, like dust being lifted into air. Entire cities saw neighbors disappear in seconds. Fear spread like fire. Scientists tried to understand the beams, but instruments could not measure them. It was as if matter itself was being rewritten. The aliens did not take everyone. They selected carefully. Some leaders, some children, some scientists, some ordinary people. No pattern that humans could understand. Within a week, millions had vanished. The world was in chaos, but still there was no destruction, only removal. Then, suddenly, the beams stopped. Silence returned again. The alien ships remained in orbit for one more cycle of the moon. Then something new arrived. A single object was dropped from the sky, landing in the middle of the ocean where no one could reach it easily. Satellites tracked it as it sank deep below the surface. Days later, a strange signal began spreading from that point. It was not communication, it was data. Governments scrambled to decode it. After intense analysis, the truth emerged. It was a message, but not from the aliens who took the humans. It was from the humans who were taken. At first, this seemed impossible. How could missing people send anything back from somewhere unknown? But the data kept coming, structured in patterns that matched human brain activity. It was as if their thoughts had been recorded and compressed into signals. The message was fragmented, but slowly became clear. The humans had not been destroyed. They had been placed in enormous biological storage systems, worlds built like libraries, but filled with living species instead of books. Each species had its own environment, carefully recreated. Earth humans were placed in a controlled simulation of their planet, but not exactly the same. The sky was different, the stars were wrong, time moved slightly faster. The aliens observed everything like scientists studying samples. But something unexpected happened. The humans began to communicate with other collected species. There were thousands of civilizations in the archive, some more advanced, some less, all taken at different stages. And among them, humans discovered a truth that changed everything. The aliens were not gods. They were not invincible. They were also part of a system. A much larger intelligence existed above them, something that even the collectors feared. The collectors were themselves once cargo, upgraded and assigned to gather others. The message explained that every species in the archive eventually faced a choice: remain preserved forever or attempt escape. Most did nothing. They accepted their controlled worlds, but a few tried to resist. The humans, according to the message, were now joining a growing network of minds, planning something dangerous. The signal from the ocean on Earth was actually a coordinated transmission sent through layers of alien infrastructure using biological resonance from human brains. The aliens had not fully erased human freedom. That was their mistake. The humans learned to bend the system from inside. Back on Earth, governments argued whether the message was real or a trick. Some believed it was alien manipulation to reduce resistance. Others believed it was hope. Meanwhile, strange events began happening on Earth again. Power fluctuations, sudden glitches in reality recording systems. People reported dreams that were not dreams, but shared experiences of other worlds. Scientists confirmed that identical brainwave patterns were appearing in unrelated individuals. It suggested that part of the human population was still mentally connected to the archive system. Then, one night, the alien ships changed formation. They no longer hovered passively. They aligned in a perfect geometric pattern and opened something above Earth's atmosphere, a gateway. No one knew what it led to, but the message from the ocean transmission suddenly became stronger. The humans inside the archive were not just sending information anymore. They were trying to pull something through. The aliens attempted to stop it, but it was too late. The cargo was never meant to think, never meant to coordinate, but humans did. The gateway opened wider, and a wave of light spread across the planet. For a moment, every human saw the same vision: endless worlds stacked like layers of glass, each containing civilizations in silent captivity, and above them all, something vast and unknowable, watching the entire system like a gardener watching crops. Then the vision ended. The alien ships began to withdraw, not in victory, but in confusion. Something had gone wrong in their system. Earth had not been a simple cargo pickup. It had become a signal point of rebellion. The final part of the message from the humans arrived moments before the transmission cut off completely. It was not a warning, it was a statement. "We are not cargo anymore. We are becoming the message." After that, the ocean went silent. The gateway closed. The ships disappeared one by one, leaving Earth orbit empty again. But nothing returned to normal. People still dreamed of other worlds. Some claimed they could feel thoughts that were not their own. And deep under the ocean, where the original signal began, something continued to pulse, waiting for the next alignment. Scientists could not prove anything. Governments denied everything. But everyone knew the truth had not ended. It had only paused. And somewhere far beyond the stars, the collectors began to reconsider Earth, not as cargo, but as something far more dangerous than anything they had ever taken before.